In this week's Torah portion, we read one of the most famous scenes in Jewish history. Right? God telling Moses, speak to the rock. Moses hits the rock. And it is also perhaps one of the greatest misunderstandings when it comes, or not misunderstandings, missed opportunities in biblical commentary. And what do I mean? The Sforno, really hits the nail on the head. He comes and says, once this happens, this whole spiel, God tells Moses, speak to the rock, he hits the rock. The rest is history. Once it's done, we're only interested in two things. What was the sin? And, did God go overboard? There's only one problem here. Nobody is interested in asking the following fundamental question. Why did God ask Moses to speak to the rock? There is something so profound here. Just moments ago, Miriam dies. We no longer have, her being the source of water, and the Israelites are bickering. We have nothing, and then they're complaining. And then God does something. There is an educational moment here. God says to Moses, grab your staff. Your staff being that thing which is the symbol of my power. Gather the people. It doesn't happen every day that God says, Hakel, gather the people. This is saved for special instances. Usually it's Vaidaber Hashem, God says something to Moses, and yada yada. But Hakel, I want you to bring everyone. This is a moment that I want to teach a lesson, an important lesson. He says, take your staff. Speak to the rock. This is one of the greatest ecological moments in biblical history. There is an opportunity here for God to come and say, the rock's important. You guys are complaining about someone died, and you're not really interested about their death. You're interested about the fact that you no longer have your selfish water supply. People that can't even treat a rock, a river with respect, what chance do you have to genuinely have respect for a human being? God's saying, we need to start over. And the moment is missed. It is such poetic justice. This whole scene is poetic justice, for there was no other chance. Because we are so self-centered. Nobody even noticed the lesson being taught. It was just all about us and us and us, and we're thirsty and we're hungry, and then Moses getting upset. And even the commentators, we're all focused on us, human beings. What was the sin? Was it too harsh? What about God's lesson? The rock is important. And it just goes away. So this is just, something, my 2 cents worth, perhaps one of the greatest, not yet missed biblical moments where God is saying, and by the way, Nachmanides and others implicitly refer to this. Had Moses spoken to the rock, all the Israelites would have understood the sanctification of God's name, meaning everything is holy because everything was created by God, thus everything is important. We are not meant to look after this world because if we tear down a rainforest, then we're not going to have air to breathe. We're meant to do it because the world is dignified and deserves that respect. And that, I think, is the greatest lesson that God wants to teach us here, and that we've just simply been missing. So thoughts on the Torah portion of Hukat, or in a little bit in Hukat. Shabbat Shalom.